I'm Blaine Birch with BHR Law Group, and I am a certified specialist in estate planning, trust, and probate law. Today we're going to talk about choosing your trustee. This is one of the biggest decisions you get to make when you're creating an estate plan. The question is, who should be your successor trustee, or the person that takes over for you if you become incapacitated or when you pass away? Most people choose a child or a family member, but this may not be the best option. Let me talk a little bit about the pros and cons to doing this. First are the pros. It's cost effective. You don't really have to pay your child or a family member to be the trustee. There's a trust factor because they are your family, and they understand the family dynamics and morals that you're trying to pass on. They'll have a relationship with the beneficiaries as well, which makes things much smoother than maybe someone that doesn't know your family. The cons are that there's a lot of liability that goes along with being a trustee. It's not an easy job, and there are fiduciary duties that have to be kept. If these duties are not kept, there's personal liability for what happens. There can be family tension giving that type of power to one child or to one family member as well. Finally, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. Because of that, it may not be the best option to choose one of your family members or a child to take on this job. One of the things that most people don't even think about when they're trying to choose a successor trustee is incapacity. We always think about the death part, but not the incapacity part. Is your trustee going to be ready to pay bills, do investing, take care of you, and pay caretakers? There's a lot that goes into being a trustee during the incapacity portion of the administration. There are other options out there, so let's talk about some of them. The first one is a trust company. There are trust companies that do or provide trust services along with managing the assets. However, they usually want a certain amount of assets to manage, and it may not fit properly with your estate plan, and they can also be pretty expensive. Another option is a private fiduciary. These are people that don't take on management of the assets, but they do take on the fiduciary services. So they're not a financial or wealth manager that's actually managing the assets. They would use a different financial advisor to do that, maybe the one you already have. But they do take on the trust services and take care of paying distributions, doing investing, all the other jobs that it takes with a trust. Finally is an independent professional, such as a CPA or attorney or someone that you are already working with. Many of them will take on the role of trustee. Having an independent third party as your successor trustee can also be a big blessing to everyone. It has someone come in with a fresh eye, pretty independent. Many people can be, upset with a trustee, but if they're all upset at the independent party, then there's not going to be really any infighting between the children or your own family. Anytime you have a professional fiduciary, trust company, or independent third party, it's really important to build a relationship ahead of time. So if you're going to go that route, make sure that you meet with them and meet with them regularly to keep that relationship going up until the point where they actually will start acting as your successor trustee. As always, talk to your estate planning attorney, talk to your other advisors, and make sure that you have a good plan in place. Thanks.